Playoffs are about players have to step up, and last night was an example of it. A guy like Owen Van Steensel comes and plays a big part in you guys getting back and evening this series. Talk about how important it is for guys like that to step up. There's almost a hero every night.
That's so true, and it is really important. It's not everybody can bring it on each and every night. I think everyone that follows us all throughout the year and watches us closely is not surprised that guys like Owen Van Steensel are difference makers. I mean, that kid does everything the right way, and but it's we've talked about our team having depth, and you're seeing it. You got to get contributions from everywhere in your lineup, and that's a big difference maker for us.
I wanted to ask about, a couple things. You were shorthanded for 20% of the first two periods, and you still had a 4-2 lead. To overcome that is not easy. How do you hold it together on the bench when there's a string of penalties like that?
You just realize, like, honestly, there's nothing you can control sometimes in those situations, and it's fall forward mentality. That's what we always say. And then going to that, I mean, Owen gets a huge shorthanded goal there at the end of the second period. So I talked about the night before about earning your breaks and earning those things, and you stick with it. Those things come your way, and over the course of a series, a season, anything, the breaks will always even itself out.
You talk about resilience on that penalty kill. How many times does a guy miss a shorthanded breakaway and then gets a shorthanded goal? I guess the never say die is an example right there.
Absolutely, and he made a really good move on the breakaway with using his speed, stuck with it, and then I think just took advantage of maybe some tired legs there, and what a shot! So yeah, really nice play.
J.R. Avon seemed to think that your goalie's a little bit shaky in the post-game press conference. Is that bulletin board material?
No, you know what? It's totally fine. I mean, it's not a big deal at all. I mean, these are teenagers, and this is the playoffs, so not a big deal at all.
You don't think that it might fire up Dom a little bit more?
Honestly, I don't think it's even something that we would talk about or address. Or it's all in the game. I'm sure there's a lot that even go between the boards, right? So it's not a big deal.
What about Dom's performance making 30, 35 saves a night, right?
Yeah, he's been excellent, and obviously a big part of our team and why we're in the position that we're in. So we know he gives us a chance every single night, and it's nice to have him back there.
My spies tell me that one of your players is quite heroic in regards to spending a night in hospital and then coming back the very next night and playing a full game for you. And I'm talking about Avery Winslow. I mean, that's pretty brave stuff.
Absolutely, and this time of year, it's kind of cool where you pick up a lot of different things. But I heard the saying of the more ice bags and loose pucks that you can have, the chances of winning are greater. Not that he needed an ice bag, but it's this time of year. Everyone's feeling a little bit under the weather or has something, and we missed him that one game that he couldn't play, and obviously getting him back in the lineup was massive.
Coach, I have a few stats I just kind of want your thoughts on. Last night was the first time Peterborough lost on home ice. Every game that Kyle Jackson scores in the playoffs, you've won. Knock on wood. And, Dom doesn't lose back-to-back games. I just want to get your thoughts on... I know, I'm trying not to jinx you as best I can. But
you're doing a good job.
Just get your thoughts on it, on those stats there.
Some of those stats you like to kind of keep to yourself, but if you are bringing them up, I got lots of wood I can knock on to cover up for you. But, I mean, those are kind of interesting things. We saw last series. I didn't say anything the whole series, but it was the team that scored second was the team that won the game, believe it or not. So, all those things will kind of pop up over the course of the game. I think the big thing with, losing game one, we knew that they had not lost on home ice at that point in time, and we were going to be in for a battle to try to do that. Sometimes it's just a matter of time before something happens. So, but to get that, it just goes to how good they play in their rink, differences of their rink, and how good they've been in the playoffs.
Ryan, a couple things. If you want to knock on wood, you can always use Chris's teeth. The second thing is, thank you, is that you talked about making adjustments to their playing in their rink between game 3 and 4 because there are it's a different setup there, a different ice surface, the boards are different, the dimensions are different. What did you hockey team do differently in game 4 that you were adjusted to?
Well, we had a game plan going into game 3. and just a lot of our guys weren't used to that building, so it's difficult to adjust really quickly and for your first time. So then what happens is you're able to show a lot of video. We had a really good video session yesterday morning, and just to show the, what's a little bit challenging in that rink compared to other rinks, and the guys were able to execute much better and provided some offense for us. So that was kind of, without me giving into too much detail, sort of the way we went about it.
The late in the series, you always talk about attention to detail or the fine print. Fine print is getting very fine at the back end of a series like it is right now, where it's now a best of 3.
Absolutely, it is for sure, and you're just seeing, that offense is at a premium here in this series. Both teams. I mean, it starts in the net with both teams, and then just really good defensive, structured hockey teams. So the little details, it's every shift mentality right now. You never know when something is going to make the difference in a hockey game. So that will be the message going into tomorrow night.
One final one for me, Coach, is that this club seems to play its best when they're kind of pushed into a corner a little bit. Barry had you in pretty deep trouble in Game 4. You rallied, came back and won that series. You're down 2-1 in Peterborough. They hadn't lost at home yet. The team came up with another clutch effort. I mean, it speaks, I guess, to the character of the team, really, doesn't it?
It speaks to the character, and I don't have a ton of answers of why, but we've had this discussion over the course of the year so many times. It's just been the way this group has been this year, and oftentimes, when we've had a little bit of a, I don't want to say a letdown, but maybe a little bit of an off night, we're able to bounce back, and it kind of projects us forward oftentimes. So we're hoping it does the same thing here for us.
First period tomorrow night, how important is that going to be? Because obviously they're going to have a good push in the first 20.
For sure. And again, the strength of their hockey team, you just see what they do in the playoffs here, especially last series and even, against us here. They're a really fast starting team. So that's going to be a big one to start on time. And then from there, you get into the hockey game. And I mean, I'm sure it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere here. Our guys are looking forward to it and try to play our best game possible.